Today's book is by the wonderful writer Val McDermid, Scottish writer, crime writer. I've read several of her books and this one is no exception. It involves her protagonists, who are Carol Jordan, a detective, although at the time of writing this book she's not a detective, and Tony Hill, who's almost like, I suppose, her love interest, if you like. Tony Hill's like a behavioural psychologist who helps the police in catching killers. And this story is the story of a convent where remains are found of children, and there's an investigation into a historic investigation into how the remains of these children have come to be in the convent. And this is a sort of really speaks to several real world cases in Ireland. Don't know if they've been in Scotland, but in Ireland, where back in the day nuns and so say religious people took it upon themselves to look after pregnant mums who were having children out of wedlock, and cast moral aspersions on them and their children. And it's already known that in the real world, when children died, they were often buried in the convent in an unmarked grave. And in actual fact, there was a film which touched on this called Philomena, so do look that up, real world story. But this is a fiction, and it kind of speaks to that, and speaks to all, in my mind, that's just awful about the Catholic Church. But anyway, that's where this story starts. They're investigating these remains, and during this investigation they find other remains, but this time they are far more recent, and they are not children. These are adults, and they turn out to all to be men. So alongside, there's a parallel investigation to look for a more modern killer, in fact a serial killer. And the whole story charts how Carol Jordan and Tony Hill, Tony for various reasons is actually in prison at this time, how they get caught up in this situation and help solve this crime. It will keep you going, and Val's won masses of awards for her work, and I've read several of them. I really like the Carol Jordan and Tony Hill dynamic. So if you like fast pace, fast moving, action, sometimes you get it before the end. I kind of got this one, some of it, not all of it, but also what she will often do is, you know who the killer is from the very beginning, so you're not having to guess. It's how are they gonna get there, how are they gonna get to that conclusion. So yeah, How the Dead Speak by Val McDermid, a really good read.
That's it for this week. Please subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications.